back to my bathroom and welcome to video 6 of the hair color series. Today we're going to be comparing the differences between bleach and high lift color. Here's your daily dose of doctor. Before we start jazzing this thing up, make sure you subscribe and like. I'm here for you every single week, and I'll put the playlist in the description box below, as well as keynotes if you're in cosmetology school. We are going to be on page 695 for you today. So the first player in this game is high lift color. I grabbed one from Sally's by Color Brilliance Ion Permanent Cream hair color. This one is high lift ash blonde. Looks like this. So high lift colors are usually permanent colors. They lift hair, so it's going to lift my roots, and it deposits a tone at the same time. It does have to be mixed with developer, and typically that's 40 volume. Typically high lift colors will not lift more than 5 levels of hair is what it says, but honestly, they do a good solid 3, and that's it. I think 5 is being a little generous. So if your root colors are a level 8 and you wanted to move them to a level 10, you could use a high lift color. But if your roots are a level 2 and you wanted to get them to a 10, you need the real deal. You need bleach. Another thing to point out about high lift color is it does not lift previously tinted hair. This root smudge that we did last week, it's not going to lift that. Again, you're gonna have to go in with bleach to break up this color. So it has to be on virgin hair. Hair that's never been colored. All right, we're gonna mix this up. I do have a kitchen utensil today. Cue the applause. We have 1 TSP, and it's a 1:2 ratio. So we're gonna do 1 TSP of this. Whoa, doctor, smell it. You're gonna be feeling silly later. Tappy this around to make sure it's not chunky. We're gonna go in with 40 volume Salon Care Developer. It does say on this box to use the one in the purple bottle, which is the ion sensitive scalp one, but we're being dangerous with the whole regular gal. Okay, so we did 1 TSP of that, so we're gonna do 2 of these. There's, 2, doctor. And I'm just mixing up a small portion because I'm only doing a little part so you can see it. I'm still on my hair reset, or trying to be. I did blow dry my hair for the first time a couple days ago, and it felt weird, y'all. It felt weird to put some effort in. Honestly, didn't really like it. There she is. It's kind of like a mayo. Well, that's like a thin mayo. That's the Kroger brand mayo for you. Not too thick, not too thin. Here we go with this piece of work for the redneck salon. It has to be on my virgin hair. So let's find a piece of holy hair. We're gonna be doing a root retouch just right in this little portion. Now, if you're gonna do your whole head, you would want to divide the hair with a middle part into 4 quadrants. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the back. If I'm in the salon, I will start with the back because I'm able to rinse out the client with just the back. But if you're at home, I typically start in the front because you can rinse this front out and let the back catch up if you need to. Once you have it sectioned off into 4 quads, then you would go through and outline the quad just like this. Then you would take very small diagonal subsections, paint the top, paint the back, trying not to overlap to any previous blonde because you don't want to create breakage, and then lay it over, and then repeat. Take another diagonal section, top, bottom, lay it over. Remember to allow little air pockets, little choo-choo, not mash it together, because air helps oxidize and process this and make it work. So we need it. I'm gonna go through with the color, going directly on the scalp. This hair color, high lift, is safe to go on the scalp. I'm trying my best to not overlap with a blonde so I don't create breakage. Then I'll do another little thin subsection, come down right here. You can kind of see right there the little air pockets. Processing time for this is 30 to 45 minutes. I would cover this with a cap also, by the way, so it doesn't dry out. A Kroger bag, plastic shower cap, whatever you got. Now we're gonna go in with the lightener, which is just bleach. Professional hairstylists always refer to it as lightener and never bleach because bleach is like a harsh word. Lightener is more delicate. So lightener can lift up to 7 levels, which is a lot. There's several different types of a lightener. There's cream, powder, and oil. I don't have an actual oil lightener with me. It's honestly my least favorite, but I'll show you one from Sally's from the Color Ion brand. It's an oil lightener, and this just means that it has a lot of oil in it, like the name suggests, and it is a milder version of lightener or bleach for the hair. It is safe to use on the scalp, but it only lifts about 2 to maybe 3 levels of lift, so it's very, very mild. Powder lighteners look like this. These are little packets, grab and go packets from Sally's, Quick White and Prism Lights. This one is non-tinted or white, and this one is blue tinted to help cancel out any orange tones that would come about when you're lightening. Honestly, you're still gonna have to probably use a toner with this, but the idea is there. Powder lighteners look like this, a big sack of powder. They're all different depending on the brand. Some of them can go on the scalp, like this high lift color directly on the scalp, and some of them can't and are just meant to be used inside foils or on the bottom portion of the head. You just really have to kind of read it, and like this one says on or off the scalp. And then lastly, we have cream lighteners, which are my favorite types of lightener. And this is actually one of my favorite ones. This is Color Ion, Color Brilliance Ion, whatever this is, a bright white cream lightener, also from Sally's. Typically, most cream lighteners can be used on or off the scalp. They're cream because they have oil in it. It's kind of like the middleman between the powder and the oil. If they had a baby, it would be this. A lot of times, the powder lightener, when you put it on the scalp, it burns. This may still burn a little bit, but remember ladies, a little bit of burn is good everywhere but the bedroom. The reason I like this one so much is because the consistency is just right. It's not too thick and it's not too thin. You don't want something too thin because it's gonna slippery slope all over the place. This is the best consistency, and if you're unsure of which lightener to choose, just choose a cream lightener, something similar to this. And with this one, it says you can do a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 using any type of developer. All lighteners need to be mixed with developer or they don't work. It really depends on how thick or thin you want this. I usually just do a 1-to-2. Back in with a TSP, one of these to 2 developers. And I'm using 10 volume because we're doing this on virgin hair, my roots. 2 of these. Whoa. 2. I hear you and I see you, but I'm busy. Mix this really good. If you have a kitchen whisk, use that. It is a little bit easier. And we actually use whisk in the salon. They're just branded like Redken and stuff. But y'all, I've always been kind of redneck and cheap, so I would always bring in Dollar Tree whisk if I had to supply my own stuff, because I'm not gonna pay $10 for a whisk just as it says Redken. Like, nobody cares. Really, 0 people. It should look like this, royal icing. It shouldn't fly off the brush. If it flies off the brush, it is too thin. So you should be able to do the Dairy Queen dip on you. We're going to apply this the same kind of way. Can go directly on the scalp. I'm trying my best not to overlap the lightener where it's already been lightened, because that will cause it to snap, break if we're not careful. Sometimes you can't help it, but you do want to try to be mindful. Thin subsections, making sure the bottom is covered, doing the top, going back in. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to see from the screen, but just using this lightener, this cream lightener, it's more malleable. When I lay it over, I can create deeper air pockets. So I like that. I like it being thicker. This lightener is not gonna deposit a tone like this high lift color is supposed to. Now, processing time for lighteners is eyeball method. There is no set, oh, this is gonna be 10 minutes, this is gonna be 20 minutes. This is, we have no idea, you just have to watch it. So if you're in a salon setting, I definitely wouldn't leave your client with lightener on their scalp or head or foils or whatever. You should be there kind of looking. It would be unwise to say, oh, I'll see you in 30 minutes and then disappear and come back, and then, you know, a lot can happen in 30 minutes. We know this. This has 12 minutes left and it's still pretty golden. So unless some magic tricks can happen in 12 minutes, we'll see about it. I'm gonna let it process and then shampoo it out, and we'll go over the results together. All right, we're back. So I ended up leaving this high lift color on for the full 45 minutes because it was really golden. Still is. This lightener I left on for 15 minutes with 10 volume developer. This side is the high lift color with 40 volume developer, and it lifted my roots, but the tonality of it is a little off. It said it was a ash blonde. So ash has a blue undertone, so it should be more bluer or cooler versus warm. Kind of depends on the lighting, but in this bathroom, that looks golden with a red tone, so warm. A lot of that has to do with what my hair has, the underlying pigment, which is warm tones, reds. This is definitely a good base to tone, but as far as it being a standalone, I wouldn't do that. That's a big disconnect. Now on the bleach side, we can see that it is more yellow, so it definitely needs a toner, but it matches the bottom of my hair better if you're talking about levels, not tone. So it's how light or dark it is. For me, and let's just say in a perfect world, the hair is fine, no damage. We can either pick high lift color or lightener. I'm always gonna go with lightener. It's quicker. I feel like it gives you a better result. Not tonality, like the tonality is usually orange, yellow like this, but it gives it a more even canvas, I guess I should say, to prep it for a toner. Whereas I find with these high lift colors, sometimes because it has that pigment or tone added to it, it can kind of throw it off and throw you a wild, like Uno card color, like you have no idea what it's going to be. For example, this was supposed to be an ash color, but again, I think it looks warm. So now it has a warm red tone. So to correct that, I'm gonna have to use something with a little bit of green, which can get a little scary and a little tricky when you're talking about green toners, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna leave it like this because they'll be fine. We can just cover this top part up and just add it to the rest of this little concoction here. So there we have it, lighteners versus high lift colors. Let me know your thoughts, comments, questions, leave them below. I can't wait to see you next week, so make sure you subscribe and like. I'm here for you every single Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so I will see you next time for something cool. Something cool. Wowee.